Bitcoin is finally breaking bullish, and this could be the start of the big move towards the new all-time high, and that could all unfold in the coming weeks. In this video I'm going to tell you exactly what my price targets are for Bitcoin and what we can see after this huge breakout for Bitcoin. I will have a look at some interesting news, and also a lot of interesting data are coming in for the Ethereum and the Bitcoin ETFs. I will have a look at the Bitcoin monthly and quarterly returns. And later in the video I will also have a look at the two altcoins, XRP and Pepe. But about that later in the video. So you want to watch this video all the way to the end? Please slap up that like button, and if you want to join my free Telegram group, just click the link in the description under this video. And with that have being said, let's dive right into the charts. So in my video of yesterday I was discussing this huge formation for Bitcoin on a 4-hour time frame. We saw this huge trendline resistance coming into play, and we saw multiple touch points here as resistance, and also on the lower side we saw this horizontal support coming into play, and at this green box of accumulation I bought more Bitcoin, just like I said yesterday in my video. And at this huge horizontal support area we are seeing a lot of price interactions happening, and every time we touch this support we saw a bounce to the top side, and just like yesterday we are seeing this spike to the top side again, and we are now also breaking bullish out of this huge resistance trend line. So this is looking very beautiful, and we have to wait for a candle close outside of this resistance area, and from there we can confirm the break. And if we're going to see a retest of this previous resistance to turn it into support, you can enter the market for Bitcoin here in the long, and then we can aim for higher targets. And the breakout target of this formation will be confluent with the top side of the formation, and that is confluent with the previous all-time high of $108,000. So this could be the start of the next impulse for Bitcoin to the top side. And after breaking this downward sloping trendline resistance, we want to see Bitcoin creating a new higher low and a higher high, so that we're going to see a bullish trend and that we're going to see a bullish momentum to the top side. And on the daily time frame I've been discussing a lot of interesting price targets, and at these white lines I'm placing my limit orders for Bitcoin to buy more for the long term. And we can see that this huge support trend line is now holding, and we can see that Bitcoin is now bouncing from this horizontal support. We're already seeing an almost 3% increase for Bitcoin today, so this is looking very bullish. But of course we can also see that Bitcoin is coming lower and coming to this next big support level, and from there if we touch this area my limit order will be hit, and that means that I will buy more Bitcoin for the long term. But of course every time Bitcoin goes a little bit lower and comes to the next white line, I'm going to buy more Bitcoin each time we go lower. So for now I bought at this huge support area, and we're already seeing a bounce, so I'm already in a little bit of profits, but I also don't mind if we go a little bit lower because I want to buy more Bitcoin for the long term. And let me know in the comments, did you also buy at these levels, and do you think Bitcoin will just bounce to the top side again, or do you think that Bitcoin will see a lot of more bearish momentum to the downside? And if we then have a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow, we can see that yesterday was a little bit of a bearish day. We saw an outflow of $415 million, so this is insane of course, and this is a huge outflow for the Bitcoin ETFs. Currently we are still above the $35 billion of total cumulative inflow, so this is still very bullish. And as we can see here, from the all-time high, we can see a little bit of a decrease in the spot total cumulative inflow for the Bitcoin spot ETFs. So of course we want to see that this last day of the year is going to end strong, and that we still keep up above the $35 billion of inflow. And if we have a look at the BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF, they officially become the fastest growing exchange traded fund in history. So this is the most successful ETF in history ever of ETFs. So this is very bullish, and especially Bitcoin attracts a lot of money and also a lot of people. So this is looking very bullish for the Bitcoin market. And also BlackRock Bitcoin ETF called the greatest launch in ETF history, and this was all because of Bitcoin of course. And of course BlackRock is a huge investment company, and they have a lot of huge institutional investors that want to buy Bitcoin through their Bitcoin ETF. So this year was very bullish for Bitcoin because of the launch of the ETFs in January of the beginning of this year. So they're almost 1 year old, and we can see that they are having the greatest launch in ETF history, so this is very bullish. And if we then zoom in again to the Bitcoin 4-hour time frame, we can see that this horizontal support was acting very strong, and we can already see a bounce from this level, and we are seeing a spike to the top side. So let's see if Bitcoin can separate itself from this support area and see more topside momentum, because we want to see a higher high after this previous high was made. So of course we want to come back above this level, and so we can see a bullish momentum, because we are now in a bearish downtrend and we want to see a shift to the top side again, and then we can confirm the bullish uptrend again. And we can also see that this formation is looking a little bit like a broadening wedge. So for now we are coming to this downside. So let's see if Bitcoin can climb up again and see a touch point at the resistance area of this broadening wedge formation. But for now it looks very bullish because we are bouncing from the support level and it held once again. So of course there's also a bearish scenario possible that we're going to break below the support and eventually that we're going to retest this support as resistance, and then we can aim for lower targets. But if this happens, I will tell you everything about it in my next videos. And on the daily time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is still in a huge uptrend, which is looking very bullish. We can see multiple higher highs and higher lows unfolding, and currently we are creating this higher low structure because from this low we are seeing now a higher low unfolding, and this means that Bitcoin is still in a little bit of an uptrend. Of course it's looking a little bit weaker because the highs are getting less exponential and also the lows are getting weaker because this higher low is not much higher than this one. And of course we want to see that Bitcoin is going to create a new all-time high, and that means that Bitcoin will still be in a huge uptrend, and that of course will be a continuation of the trend. And if Bitcoin is going below this previous higher low, then we are going to see a shift of the momentum, and that means that we're going to see a bearish movement and a bearish momentum coming into the market. And if we have a look at the Bitcoin quarterly returns, we can see that Q4 has an increase of 48.6%. So this is insane, of course, for the Bitcoin market. And if we have a look at the monthly returns, we can see that September, October and November were green. And in the history of Bitcoin, we can see that every time those months were green, we also saw a bullish December. But this month we are seeing a negative number. We are seeing a decrease of 2.25%. So this is a little bit more bearish than bullish. And of course, if we can look at the January returns for Bitcoin, we are seeing a little bit of a mixed month because we can see a lot of green, but also we can see a lot of red. So let's see what will happen in the coming month. And do you think that December can maybe end in the green? Because now we are seeing a little bit of a decline. And zooming all the way out to the monthly time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is still in this huge uptrend, and we can see every time this bull cycle happened, we saw a huge resistance coming into the market and we broke it to the top side, and then after that we saw a huge bullish spike to the top side. And now we can also see that Bitcoin broke above this huge resistance area because this resistance area was confluent with the previous all-time highs of the last cycle. And now we can see that Bitcoin is trying to separate itself from this area, and we want to see the spike to the top side happening just like we saw in the last cycle. So for instance, if Bitcoin can see more spike to the top side and can see the same increasement for Bitcoin in the last cycle, and that means a 300%. And if we measure it from this level, and if we want to see a 300% increase, then we come to levels around $270,000. So this could be a very interesting time for Bitcoin. And of course, we are still early, and I think we are still just at the beginning of the cycle. So for now, Bitcoin is showing a little bit of a red month in December. So we could also see a little bit of a throwback to test this level as support again. And from there, we can see a separation of this level. So this is looking very bullish, and let me know in the comments what your price prediction for Bitcoin is in 2025. And the first interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is XRP. We can see that XRP was in this huge monthly consolidation, and we have been in this consolidation for years and years, and it was for more than 4 years already. Finally, we saw a break to the top side, and we created a lot of top side potential, and we created more than a 400% pump in the last weeks. So this was insane, of course. And if we have a look at the shorter time frame, so for instance at the daily time frame or at the 4-hour time frame, we can see that XRP is now in this huge consolidation as well. On the top side, we can see multiple touch points here as resistance, and on the lower side, we can see this horizontal support is coming into play. And every time we touch this support, we can see a little bit of a bounce to the top side. As we can see here, 2 days ago, we saw a spike to the top side, so we are separating ourselves from the support area. And let's see if XRP can climb again to this huge resistance area to the top side and maybe see a continuation of the price action to the top side. And if we break it to the top side of this formation will be confluent with the breakout target, and that will be around the $2.90. So if we have a look at another chart for XRP and we zoom into the 4-hour time frame, we can also see this huge price compression is unfolding for XRP, and eventually this price has to break out to either the top side or either the downside. And of course we are still in a huge uptrend on the higher time frame. So there are bigger chances that we're going to see a bullish break to the top side and see a continuation of the price action, because the trend is still up, and after this huge consolidation formation we will see a huge break for XRP. And let me know in the comments if you hold XRP in your portfolio and what do you think about XRP in 2025. And the next altcoin I want to discuss with you is Pepecoin. We can see that Pepe has been in this huge formation in the last months. We saw this downward sloping trendline resistance happening and also this huge consolidation on the lower side, which was finally breaking out to the top side. And we saw a bullish momentum to the top side eventually and saw more bullish continuation of the price. And eventually we also broke to this huge resistance area, and the breakout target of this formation was confluent with this break point, and that was around the top side of the formation. We broke it to the top side as we can see here, but we didn't retest it yet, so we created two retests at this level, and it is now has been turned into support. So this is looking very bullish and this price action is very healthy. And we can also see a separation of this level because we are bouncing to the top side. So let's see if Pepe can maybe see more topside and eventually create a new all-time high in the coming days and weeks. And also Pepe has been pumping lately because we see that Elon Musk changed his profile picture to Pepe, and we can also see that his name is changed to Cactus Maximus. So this is causing the pump on Pepe lately. So for now, Pepe is looking very strong after this bullish retest, and we are seeing this bullish retest happening. So this could have been a very interesting trade opportunity for you. And from this green box of accumulation after this bullish retest, we are now seeing a spike to the top side. So let's see if Pepe can reach new all-time highs in the coming days. You can join my free Telegram group by just clicking the links in the description under this video. You can also like the video if you think it was useful, and it will help this channel a lot. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.